All right, so today we're diving deep right into the world of the bronze whaler shark.
Sounds exciting.
It is. They're pretty incredible creatures. They're sleek, powerful.
And surprisingly social, too.
Right, which makes them even more interesting. And we've got some really cool research and observations about their lives.
Their habits.
Yeah, and even like some of the challenges they're facing.
Definitely.
So, have you ever seen a shark leap clear out of the water?
I wish. Have you?
No, but these guys can.
They can. It's a sight that really does underscore their power and agility.
I bet.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's start with the basics. Bronze whalers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you might also hear them called copper sharks.
You might, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Because that coppery bronze coloration is pretty striking, especially when you see them, in the sunlight.
Oh, I bet.
But what's really fascinating to me is how their coloration helps them blend into their environment.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they have what's called a classic counter shading pattern, which is common to many sharks. Darker on top and a white underside.
Oh, so they're camouflaged from above and below.
Exactly.
Clever.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned power, and I've heard the females can get much larger than the males.
Yeah, they can. The size difference is, it's actually quite significant. Females can reach a maximum length of almost 10 feet.
Wow.
Which is about the length of a small car.
Whoa. That's a big shark?
Yeah, males are typically smaller.
Okay.
And this difference, it likely provides an advantage for females when it comes to reproduction and carrying those large litters of pups.
Wow, that's a big difference. What are the implications then for, like, their diet and the roles each sex plays in the ecosystem?
It's a great question. So a larger size allows females to target a wider range of prey.
Makes sense.
And dominate in competitive feeding situations. They may even be able to hunt larger prey that males wouldn't be able to tackle.
Oh, wow.
So this also suggests that they might play different roles in maintaining that balance of the ecosystem.
That makes sense. So what exactly do they eat? What's on the menu?
Well, bronze whalers have a pretty diverse diet. They feed on a variety of fish, including species like mullet, herring, sardines.
Okay, so kind of standard fare for a shark?
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything unusual?
Well, they've also been known to consume other sharks and rays.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Like other sharks of the same species?
Not necessarily the same species, but other sharks and rays in general.
Oh, wow, that's so interesting.
It is. This cannibalistic behavior might seem surprising, but it actually plays a crucial role in regulating populations and maintaining that healthy balance within the ecosystem.
Fascinating. So where do they find all this food? I know they're often found in, like, surf zones. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right. They are often found in surf zones.
But that seems awfully close to shore.
It is. So the surf zone is that area where the waves are breaking.
Okay.
Which, does bring them closer to shore. But they're not limited to shallow waters.
Oh.
They're comfortable near the shore A&D around islands, and they've been recorded diving to depths of over 300 feet.
Wow, so they're deep divers too.
They are. They really are quite adaptable.
That's a pretty wide range of environments to be comfortable in. And speaking of range, I was surprised to learn just how widespread they are. They're not just found in Australian waters, are they?
No, not at all.
Okay.
They prefer warmer waters and are found across the globe.
Wow.
In the Atlantic, Mediterranean, and Indo-Pacific regions. You might encounter them off the coasts of Albania, Croatia, or even Lebanon.
Lebanon. I never would have guessed Lebanon.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising.
So we've got these adaptable sharks cruising warm waters worldwide, but what about their life cycle? How are those baby sharks brought into the world?
Well, bronze whalers are viviparous.
Viviparous, okay.
Meaning they give birth to live young, not eggs.
Okay, so no eggs.
No eggs. The pups develop inside the mother, nourished by a yolk sac placenta.
A yolk sac placenta, so that's how they get their nutrients.
Exactly. It's a specialized structure that provides nutrients and oxygen to the developing embryos.
Wow, so no eggs at all. Pretty efficient.
Okay.
And how many pups are we talking about per litter?
They can have surprisingly large litters, up to 24 pups.
24.
But they only breed every other year.
Why is that? Is it related to the large number of pups?
It is, yeah. Raising that many pups takes a huge toll on the mother's energy reserves.
Well, you can imagine.
So breeding every other year allows them to recover, ensuring they're in top condition for the next reproductive cycle.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got these, big active sharks roaming the oceans, raising large families, and sometimes even jumping out of the water. What's the story behind that behavior?
Well, they're known for being fast-moving and incredibly agile.
Yeah.
Those leaps that we talked about, they're called breaching.
Breaching.
And it's probably related to hunting.
Okay.
It could be a way to surprise prey or even disorient other sharks during competitive feeding.
Oh, so like get the upper hand. That's incredible. But with their proximity to shore, are there any concerns about human interaction?
There have been reports of bronze whalers biting humans, particularly spear fishermen.
Why spear fishermen in particular?
Well, think about it. If you're flashing a speared fish around in their territory,
Yeah.
it's basically like ringing a dinner bell.
Right.
It can unfortunately trigger their predatory instincts.
That's a really good point. It highlights the importance of, understanding their behavior, respecting their space. Sadly, it's not all sunshine and breaching for these sharks. They face some real challenges, don't they?
Unfortunately, yes. The bronze whaler is currently classified as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List.
IUCN, okay.
That means they face a high risk of extinction in the wild. So the IUCN, that's the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and they assess the conservation status of species globally.
Right.
And vulnerable is a serious designation.
What are some of the biggest threats they're facing?
Well, a number of factors contribute to their vulnerability, including habitat degradation, accidental bycatch in fisheries, and targeted fishing for their meat and fins.
Oh, I see.
And their slow reproductive rate. Remember, they only breed every other year.
Right.
Makes them particularly susceptible to population decline.
That's sobering, especially considering they could live for 25 to 30 years.
It is.
So what can we do to protect them?
Well, awareness is a crucial first step. Understanding their role in the ecosystem, the threats they face, and the importance of, responsible interactions is key.
Yeah.
Supporting sustainable fishing practices and advocating for marine protected areas are also vital.
It sounds like there's a lot we can do.
There is.
So let's recap. The bronze whaler is a powerful, adaptable shark with a global presence and some really fascinating behaviors. They play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of marine ecosystems, but they are facing real threats and are considered vulnerable to extinction.
That's right. And here's a final thought for you to consider. We know that they're often found near shores and islands.
Right.
Places where humans, love to be.
Absolutely.
So how can we ensure that our interactions with these creatures are both safe for us and sustainable for them?
That's a great question, and one we should all be asking ourselves. Well, that concludes our deep dive into the world of the bronze whaler. We encourage you to learn more about these fascinating creatures and consider how you might contribute to their conservation. After all, the future of these magnificent sharks depends on our collective actions.
I completely agree.
Well, thanks for joining me today. Until next time.
Thanks for having me.